Hey there, HNW friends. I'm so glad that you're all with us for story time today. Guys, I wish I had a copy of this book for each and every one of you because the pictures and the colors in this book are just so cool. But we'll do the best we can today. I'll read it to you online so that you can see the pictures up close. Friends, this is a great book today because not only does it talk to us about the truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ, but it also tells us that we are all brothers and sisters in God's love. After our story, we'll come back together for some prayer time. And then after that, I want to show you guys something really cool that I learned this week. But for now, sit back and relax, find a place to settle in, and we'll get started with our story. See y'all in a little bit. Okay, friends, today's book is called God's Very Good Idea. It's written by Trillia Newbell, and we're able to read this book today thanks to our friends at the Good Book Publishing Company. In the beginning, in fact, before the beginning, God had a very good idea. It was an even better idea than solar panels, chocolate chip cookies, fireworks, roller skates, the Super Soaker, color TV, the life raft, the X-ray machine. God's idea was to make people, lots of different people who would all enjoy loving Him and enjoy loving each other. They would all be made in His image. They would all be like mirrors, reflecting what God is like. Because God is full of love, they would be full of love too. So God got to work. He made a beautiful world for people to live in. Then He made the first people, a man and a woman. And He said to them, "Be happy, enjoy loving me and loving each other. Have a huge family that will fill the earth and look after the earth and enjoy the earth." God carried on creating people. All of them were made in His image, and all of them were different too. Some were men and some were women. Some liked reading and some liked math. Some had darker skin and some had lighter skin. And some liked riding bikes. Some had curly hair and some had straight hair. We live in God's world. We are all different, but we are all also the same. Everyone you see is different than you and the same as you. They might look different or speak different or play different, but they are all made in God's image, and so they are all valuable. This is God's very good idea, but people ruined God's very good idea. The first people chose not to love God. This is called sin. And because they chose not to love God as they should, they forgot how to love each other as they should. We are the same. We choose not to love God, and so we are not able to love each other like we should. We sin. Sometimes we treat others badly because they are different than us. People fight with each other. People are mean to each other. People laugh at each other. Because we have ruined God's very good idea, He is not pleased with us. Our sin means we can't be friends with Him or enjoy living with Him. We need God's forgiveness for ruining His very good idea. It's the same for everyone in the world. People who like reading need forgiveness, and people who like riding bikes need forgiveness. People with darker skin need forgiveness, and people with lighter skin need forgiveness. People with curly hair need forgiveness, and people with straight hair need forgiveness. But God was not surprised by people ruining things. He had always had a very good plan to rescue his very good idea. So God got to work. He came to earth as a person, Jesus. Jesus loved people who were different than him. He loved people who no one else loved. He always enjoyed loving all the different people he met. Jesus shows us how to enjoy loving each other. I see Jesus doing some of his miracles on this page. But people didn't love Jesus. Instead, they hated him. They put him on a cross to die. But this was part of God's plan. On the cross, Jesus took our sin so that we can be forgiven. Jesus forgives his people for their sins. Jesus didn't stay dead. He rose back to life and then went back to live in heaven. And then he gave people his spirit to help them enjoy loving him and loving all the different people they know. Jesus helps us to love each other. One day, God will finish his very good idea. Jesus will come back and make the world perfect again. And anyone who has asked Jesus to forgive them will live there with their different languages and skin colors. They will enjoy loving God and loving each other. They will enjoy praising God for making, rescuing, and finishing his very good idea. But here's a very, very, very good part of God's very good idea. You don't have to wait till then to enjoy it. Jesus welcomes anyone who asks him to forgive them. And when Jesus welcomes someone, he welcomes them into his family forever. He welcomes people who like reading and people who like riding bikes. He welcomes people with darker skin and people with lighter skin. He welcomes people with curly hair and people with straight hair. God's family is called the church. Your church friends are your brothers and sisters, your wonderful and colorful church family. You can enjoy loving them and loving God with them. This is God's very good idea. Lots of different people enjoying loving him and loving each other. God made it. People ruined it. He rescued it. He will finish it. And with your church family, you can enjoy being part of it right now. Wow, what a great story that was today, friends. I just love it because it reminds me of what Jesus commanded us to do in the Bible. In John chapter 13, Jesus said that we should love one another the way that he loved us. And we can tell from this story that he loved us very, very much. When God says that we should love the church, he doesn't just mean our friends at H&W Church, although that's a good place to start. He means our friends all over the world, no matter what their skin color is or what they look like. We're supposed to show everyone God's great love. How cool is that? All right, before I show you the cool new thing that I learned this week, we're going to have a word of prayer. So bow your heads and close your eyes. Jesus, we thank you for loving us enough to save us. We promise, God, to love our friends all over the world. We thank you for your great love. Amen. All right, so come on over here with me and I'm going to show you what I learned this week. Hey friends. Okay, so this week as I started getting out and about just a little bit more, sometimes I would see friends or run into people I knew. And the first thing I wanted to do was run up to them and give them a big hug. But we know that's not the best idea for everyone right now. So I wanted to think of a way that I could say, hi, and I love you, and I've missed you so much without actually giving somebody a hug. So here were a couple of new cool things that I learned this week. The first thing I want to show you that I learned is how to say I love you in sign language. So this is it. You put up your hand, make a fist, and then these two fingers come up and these two fingers stay down. And see how these fingers make an L? That means I love you in sign language. So that's a way that you can tell a friend from far away, hi, I love you, I'm so glad to see you. Another way that I learned to say I love you is just like this. You would just say, I love, cross your arms over your chest, you. I love you. I thought that one was really cool because whenever we cross our arms over our chest like this to say love, I think it looks like a big hug. So it's like you're giving someone a hug from far away. You could even just see a friend and go like this. And they would know that you're giving them a big faraway hug and telling them that you love them. I wanted to share that with y'all so that maybe, friends, we could start doing that as we're out and about and seeing each other. I hope y'all had a good time with story time today and that you have a great week. I'll see you on Sunday for our Bible story and worship. Bye.